Welcome to my Atari ST nostalgia trip, and as you can see, this video starts with something that does not seem to have anything to do with the video title. What you are now looking at is me trying to play International Karate without using the fire button, and even if I'm doing actually surprisingly well, I really surprised myself when I was recording this bit, the game just doesn't feel right. With more of half the moves missing, it just doesn't feel right. So why would I even do this? Well, the reason I do that because that is exactly how I was forced to play the game back in the day. You see, I actually bought International Karate when I was 12, and for some reason the game didn't take fire button input on our ST machine, so I couldn't use half of the moves, and it was so disappointing for me. So we went back to the shop, and after talking to them, we couldn't get our money back, but we could exchange it for another game, and on their advice we actually exchanged it for this. Yep. We ended up with Karate Kid 2, the computer game, and that in the end turned into quite a bit of disappointment, to be honest. And as you of course could hear the music all the time, I've already started up this game. And this music, by the way, would also be sent out to the mini ports, and in doing so it would actually create an absolute havoc and mess on your keyboard, because there was no such thing as General MIDI back then. So let's not do that and keep the ST sound and just go into the game and play it, so we can all relive the rather disappointment moments of gameplay again. And this being a Steve backbeat lion game, you would expect it to be looking looking quite good and be quite smooth. And to be fair, the title screen does look quite good. And for an early game, actually all of the backgrounds, everything looks quite nice, even if the music is a bit disappointing. But the music is mostly for background, so I don't mind that much. And during gameplay we just have some sound effects, which are actually quite nice. So let's go into the game. And of course I have my first encounter with Daniel and I don't know, some guys, and I don't know if they're in the movie because it's such a long time ago since I saw the movie. I think I was also like 11 or something. And I immediately get back to memories because the backgrounds look really nice. The sprites actually look quite simple, and they're really reusing the same sprite all over again, which does mean that they are actually the animation is really smooth, but that's the only nice thing about the game. And the sound effects, I guess, are quite nice, but as you can see, the hit detection is just absolutely awful. So I'm just randomly trying to kick my opponent, and I'm losing after the first round because just about 20% of my hits got detected, and it's end of game. And did it feel like a lot of action? Not really. It just feels like a disappointing game where sprites are heavily reused for the only redeeming quality, and I'm going to try to actually get a bit further in the game. And now for some reason my opponent has a different color, but look at that! Those were just, how many kicks were that were just not registered? So it really is sort of it is not really as much as a fight as it is a lottery, to be honest, and also within the game, of course, the music isn't there. But I now beat Toshio, who's then scratching his head, getting up and then falling down again. And I go immediately into the next opponent. And I hope I get through this round, because actually after 2 rounds you get a minigame. And these backgrounds and actually the fighting don't seem to have to do anything with the movie. So I'm really suspecting that actually they made the game, or were making the game, then this Karate Kid movie came out, and that they started to sort of connect it to a movie license. And I'm losing this round, and it's game over again. And it's game over again. I know I'm not really good at gameplay in these games, but I'm game over again because most of the hit detection is just beyond awful. A lot of fighting games struggle here, but this game, it really feels just like a lottery, and I'm already bored of it. And it's also where my disappointment really kicked in as a child. Apart from the sprites being really tiny, so, having just been very, very unsuccessful with the absolute horrific hit detection and lottery in the single player game, I actually want to have a look at the mini games again, so what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to start 2-player games and have the players win 2 games each, so I actually get to 2 of the mini games. Let's hope that works. So I press 2, and of course the fight is not going to be very entertaining, but it's not about the fight, it's about the mini game, so bear with me for a moment. But look at this. I mean, the hit detection, look at this! Even when the other one is not moving, it's a clear hit and still, it's not registering any of it. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, after 2 rounds, it says time for concentration, so both of the players get to play the minigame. And what I have to do is catch a fly, and people would say, oh, this is such an original minigame. Well, no it's not, because it's just a scene I took from the movie, so it's not original by definition. It's also, just like the hit detection and the gameplay in the game, this is a total lottery, because the fly is mostly out of reach. So you're basically moving his arm around, pressing the fire button like crazy, hoping you will catch the fly by chance. And even if it is sort of well executed, with Mr. Miyagi's eyes following the fly and his, just moving his really big hand. After the first or second time you played this minigame, no matter how much you like the movie, it's actually, and the fly just flies straight to, and I'm actually catching the fly, which is a bit of luck, because if you don't catch the fly, this minigame is just so incredibly, it takes so long and so boring. So yeah, player 2 also gets to play the minigame, and the minigame takes a long time, and I still wasn't able to catch the fly in this case. So yeah, the best way I think is just to be near his face. Of course the fly gets stuck on his nose. Look at his eyes. I mean, yeah, I have to give them kudos. What they did is actually pretty well executed. It's just really boring. It's just really boring. It doesn't really feel like gameplay or skill. And that's such a pity, because, yeah, as I said, after 2 or 3 times, this minigame just gets so extremely boring, and I mean, why would I even want to catch the fly if it's just mostly out of reach anyway? There's no fun. This really isn't fun. I'm sorry. Some people might think this is a really fun game, and I really don't think it is. It's just super boring, and it's just... So now second minigame, and you have to make this drum go really fast for some reason. I'm just turning my joystick, I don't know how I'm doing this, and then you press the fire button? Oh, I broke 1 sheet of ice, okay. So I really don't know how this minigame works. Let's have another go at player 2. So I don't know what makes the drum go. I think making the joystick go round makes the drum go really fast, and then I have to react at the right moment or something. Oh, I broke 0 sheets of ice. So I don't know how this works. The beginning game is really short. It actually looks kind of really good for the time. Oh, it doesn't even go to an end game. So basically, I think now whoever wins wins the game. I think everybody can understand why I was really disappointed in this game. I mean, even the hit detection is so awful that it's such a lottery. If you want to really play both minigames, you have to find someone to play the game with. And if you really want to play the minigames, you have to sort of agree that each of you is going to win 2 fights, and then you go to the final, because then you get to play both minigames, and that's just it. It is so boring, and I have had enough already. I'm gonna be honest, the game is even worse than I remembered. I mean, the disappointment today, I would say it felt exactly like I felt it when I was 12. It probably feels even worse. The game is just super unfair with such underwhelming action, and the nice graphics and sound effects just cannot save it in any way. And I really do appreciate Steve Beck for all the breakthrough stuff he was doing on the ST, including the very smooth scrolling in like Gold Runner and Return to Genesis. But I fear this game goes more towards the Lands of Havoc category and the Yolanda category. And with that, I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope I never ever have to play this game again.